A very good evening to you with the Saturday, February 24th edition of the CBC Evening News. I am Ryan Broom. In our top story, persistent rains over the past few days didn't deter Barbadians from turning out in their numbers for the annual agricultural expo, AgriFest. Kishmar Senjis took in the day two of the expo and filed this report.
Day one of AgriFest 2018 was well patronized. Hundreds of school children took to Queen's Park to browse the over 300 exhibits. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, says the late evening showers affected last night's events somewhat, but turnout was good.
We were able to at least attract a little more visitors this year. School children turnout was good, and of course we had the adult participation too, and that was pretty good. The only thing is, as I said before, the late evening showers did not do us a lot of good, and that's the only part I'm still a bit concerned about, because parts of the field I'm a bit worried about that, but hopefully with sun during today we should be able to solve that problem.
So what's the feedback like from the exhibitors?
The exhibitors, Friday is hard to gauge because it depends on what area of the exhibition you're in, what you're selling. If it does not appeal to children a lot, that is a problem. But food normally does well.
For exhibitor Ronley Sobers of Fantastic Tanks, what started off as a hobby is now a business. And the added exposure here at AgriFest is a plus.
Yesterday was a good day. The school children, they supported me well. I think a lot of people underestimate the school children, but the school children, they did a lot of buying.
Your first time?
No, this is year 8. Yeah, so I pretty much prepare for the park for the whole year, because this is my main outlet for selling. Otherwise, I sell from home, Instagram, 1 or 2 fish here or there, 1 or 2 of the local pet shops.
A highlight of this year's AgriFest is the school's exhibits. Luther Thorne Primary's Danica Griffith pushed the message of reduce, reuse and recycle.
As Barbadians, we think that we can throw things on the ground and just leave them there, but no, you cannot do that at all. It is not good for Barbados, it is not good for our environment, and mostly the little children, the school children, just throw things on the ground. I just want them to know that if they keep throwing things on the ground, there will not be a future for Barbados, or there won't be a future for you.
General Science teacher Janice Clark says the project for Class 4s was aimed at creating an awareness of the 3 R's.
Considering that they're in Class 4, there was a little resistance because, the focus is no on common entrance. But really and truly, when they get into secondary school, the emphasis will then shift a little. They have much more subjects to do, so it will give them a kind of a sense and a feel of what they have to encounter in secondary school. But once they got into it, doing the research, putting together the project, some children were already excited about using reusable products like the cardboard. You can see some here. And basically putting together the projects on their own.
ACE Recycling wants to see more Barbadians embrace recycling. Aside from collecting paper, the company collects e-waste.
That is new. That is, we do collect the old computers, keyboard, old phones, any sort of e-waste, electronics. That is pretty new. And basically we strip it down, we use the motherboard, and it goes to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
The presence of Luther Thorne Primary and ACE Recycling at AgriFest was facilitated through the Sanitation Service Authority.
When you look at the work of ACE Recyclers, they have been doing a fantastic work in diverting a lot of waste, especially paper, from the landfill. And that's important because it takes really sometimes over $15 million, well over $50 million, to build a landfill. And that includes the pipes, the laying of it. And so if we can preserve a landfill by 5-6 years by diverting a lot of the waste, it means that we can save that money and money can go back into the economy. So at SSA, we are very pleased with the response, especially when you look at the creativity and the message from the children.
Day 2 of AgriFest saw a special visitor, Governor General Dame Sandra Mason, taking in the expo. She toured a number of exhibits and interacted with stall owners and patrons. Organizers overall are upbeat about the turnout for tomorrow.
I expect at least we have a bumper crowd tomorrow, because the thing is really, usually people like to take this thing down to the last. Today Saturday we have our Calypso show in the evening, but also today, most important, we have the World Black Belly Sheep Show Championship. We have some really good animals this year. Actually, when I was looking at them on Thursday when they came in, they really look in good condition.
AgriFest 2018 is being held under the theme Youth Farming the Future. Kishmar Senjis, CBC News.
Thanks so much, Kishmar. Well, a former diplomat believes Barbados needs to revolutionize the agriculture industry as it wrestles with the issue of food security and its multi-million-dollar food import bill. Orlando Marvels says returning to planting crops around homes using greenhouse technology and closer links between tourism and agriculture are the ways to go. He also believes government-led incentives and disincentives may be necessary.
You drive around Barbados and you see so much RAB land. You wonder what is happening. Now, if people who own this RAB land refuse to farm it or to lease it to youngsters or whoever to do farming, the tax on such land should be higher. It would push people with such land either to get rid of it or to use it.
Now, while delivering the weekly Astor B. Watts lunchtime lecture, Mr. Marvel stressed there are several potential areas that can become revenue generators.
When we are in the situation that you can't find a yam, and you had visionaries like Carmita Fraser, who went out without the machinery and made yam flour and showed people how they could use all of these things, and now we don't have them. I mean, somebody who has a bit of land has to start growing yams again. With respect to breadfruit, a breadfruit in London costs at least £6. Figure that in Barbadian currency. That's about $15 nearly. But we don't have enough breadfruit to export anywhere.
In other news, a visiting Canadian professor has given Barbados top marks for the strides made in ophthalmology. Jeff Hurwitz of the University of Toronto says the field is quite strong on the island. Professor Hurwitz, who has been the director of Ocuplastics program at the Canadian University in Barbados, for the latest updates in ophthalmology subspecialty conference.
In my opinion, it's the strongest center in the Caribbean. They have subspecialists in essentially every area. And now with Dr. Benskin taking over as chief of the department, research is going to play a very significant role. Research really is what puts a department on the map, and Dr. Benskin's vision is to have every resident needing to do a research project to help not only educate the resident, but to help the public.
We take a pause here, but we have more news after the break.